Never ignore the screams in the distance at night. I never thought camping alone would lead me to such terror. It was supposed to be a weekend of solitude, a chance to escape my chaotic life. After months of working overtime, managing deadlines, and dealing with a whirlwind of responsibilities, I craved the tranquility of the woods. I arrived at the campsite just as the sun dipped behind the trees, casting long shadows that seemed to reach toward me with bony fingers. Unloading my gear, I felt an unusual chill in the air, but I brushed it off as just the evening's coolness. As darkness enveloped the forest, I sat by the fire, the crackling flames comforting in their warmth. The smell of burning wood filled my nostrils, a welcome distraction from the gnawing unease settling in my stomach. That's when I heard it, a faint scream in the distance. It cut through the silence, sharp and piercing, like glass shattering in the stillness of the night. At first, I dismissed it, thinking it was just an animal, maybe a deer caught by a predator. But as the night deepened, the screams grew louder, more insistent, almost rhythmic. A part of me wanted to ignore it, to convince myself it was nothing, but another part gnawed at me, urging me to listen. The air felt thick, as though the very trees were holding their breath, waiting for something to unfold. My heart raced, and I instinctively clutched the pocket knife I always kept at my side. That's when I noticed something unsettling about the way the screams echoed. They were eerily similar to my own voice. My chest tightened. Could it be my imagination? I grabbed my flashlight, its beam barely penetrating the thick darkness, and stepped away from the safety of the firelight. Each scream seemed to wrap around me, a sinister embrace dragging me closer to the truth. As I wandered deeper into the woods, the shadows danced around me, twisting and contorting like they had a life of their own. My breathing quickened. I stumbled upon something half buried beneath a pile of leaves, a torn family photo. I knelt down, my breath hitching in my throat. In the picture, I recognized two smiling faces beside a young girl who looked just like me, only she was much younger. My stomach dropped as I examined the names scrawled on the back, Sarah and Lily. I was Sarah, and I had a sister named Lily I had lost in a tragic accident when we were kids. Panic surged through me as the screams intensified, now echoing my name in a haunting chorus. Sarah, they called, a sound that felt like a knife twisting in my gut. I bolted back toward my campsite, my heart pounding in my chest. I had to get back to safety, back to the fire that now felt like a fragile barrier between me and the encroaching darkness. But when I reached the tent, my blood ran cold. My gear was slashed, the tent's fabric ripped like paper. The screams surrounded me, an overwhelming cacophony that seemed to mock my fear. I turned on my flashlight, its beam trembling in my shaking hands. "Who's there?" I shouted, hoping for an answer, or maybe just a distraction from the terror in my mind. In the shadows, a figure emerged, barely visible at the edge of the campsite. It was tall and slender, with an outline that blurred into the night. My heart raced as it whispered my name, a chilling echo of the screams that haunted me. Sarah. I felt a wave of dread wash over me, rooting me in place. Should I confront it? What if it was just a trick of the light? Just as I gathered the courage to step forward, the figure vanished, leaving behind an oppressive silence. Only the wind rustling through the trees remained, whispering secrets I dared not uncover. Then, I noticed something in the dirt where the figure had stood, a warning scrawled in a desperate hand, "Don't leave me." Dawn was creeping upon the horizon, the first light casting eerie shadows among the trees. I had to make a choice, stay and unravel this mystery that felt so deeply connected to my past, or flee into the darkness where the screams might lead to salvation or doom. My heart raced as I looked back at the campsite, the torn photo still clutched in my hand, the weight of my past pressing down on me like the very shadows that surrounded me. Suddenly, I heard it again, the screams rising in pitch, echoing through the trees. I looked up to see the figure reappearing behind me, its face just out of reach of the light, beckoning me to follow. My breath quickened, torn between a sickening curiosity and a primal urge to run. What was my sister trying to tell me? I had to find out before it was too late. I took one last look at my campsite and the figure's outstretched hand. The screams crescendoed, urging me to decide. My heart raced, a frantic drumbeat in my ears. I stepped forward, ready to face whatever truth awaited me. But as I approached, the figure dissolved into the shadows, leaving me standing alone, the last remnants of its whispers fading into the wind. My breath caught in my throat as I felt eyes watching me from the trees, the screams echoing still, chilling my very soul. I had to know what was out there, and what connection lay between me, my sister, and the terror of the night. The first light of dawn broke through the trees, illuminating my surroundings but casting long shadows that whispered of what was to come. I took a deep breath, ready to uncover the truth, or perhaps fall deeper into the nightmare. What would you do? Stay and unravel the mystery or flee into the unknown? The lingering dread twisted in my gut, an inescapable weight. I could feel it, the lurking danger just beyond the light, waiting for my decision. The screams continued, a haunting reminder of what was at stake. And then, just as I turned to make my choice, I felt a cold breath against my neck. "Don't leave me." The voice was unmistakable. I spun around to face the entity, but there was only silence, an ominous void where the figure had been. The screams were still there, a relentless soundtrack to my impending doom. In that moment, I understood the horror I had stumbled into. My sister wasn't a ghost looking for closure, she was trapped, a victim of this cursed place. The realization flooded me with despair. I felt trapped, a puppet in a play I never auditioned for, and the curtain was about to rise on the true horror of that night. Would I find my sister or become a part of the haunting cries? But deep down, I understood my choice. I couldn't abandon her. I stepped closer to the darkness, the screams resonating in my ears as I called out, "Lily! I'm here." The forest fell silent, the air thick with tension. And then, just like that, everything changed. The shadows coalesced, revealing a path deep into the heart of the woods where the light faded, leaving only darkness. I felt the ground beneath me shift as I stepped forward, the weight of my decision heavy on my shoulders. I would either find Lily and reclaim what was lost, or become another whisper among the trees. The choice was made, and as I ventured into the unknown, the echoes of the past followed me, each scream a reminder that some bonds could never be severed, and some truths were more terrifying than any darkness. Start from part 1 to see how the clues connect. Start from part 1 to follow the clues.